Welcome, dear Sagittarius. Whether you've been following me for years or stumbled upon this channel today, I'm glad you're here at Zodiac Talks Tarot. This is your love reading for August 2025, and the theme could not be more fitting. They tried to let you go, but ended up falling in love. Now, if there's any sign that understands irony, it's Sagittarius. After all, you're the Zodiac's eternal traveler, half scholar, half wanderer, always chasing horizons, sometimes even before breakfast. I like to say that if the universe planned a surprise party, you'd probably be off exploring a mountaintop or debating philosophy with a stranger in a coffee shop, only to return after the cake had already gone stale. That's your spirit, restless, adventurous, insatiably curious. But love, Sagittarius, has its own way of ambushing even the most free-spirited archer. This August brings with it the profound energy of the Year of Triumph 2025, a cycle where the chosen ones, those willing to live authentically and boldly, find themselves tested, refined, and rewarded. And here's the twist: the person who once thought they could live without you is realizing the opposite. They thought walking away would be easy, but instead they've stumbled into love's labyrinth, the kind no map can guide them through. Philosophers have argued, monks have meditated, even psychologists have published volumes about it, yet the truth remains simple and maddening: love does not obey reason. It reveals itself at inconvenient times, often through loss, regret, or sudden clarity. So here we are, Sagittarius, you, the archer of truth, standing at the center of the stage, while someone else wrestles with a truth they can no longer deny. Love caught them off guard, and now the question is, what will you do with it? Picture this, Sagittarius: someone sitting alone, shuffling through a stack of old photographs, some faded at the edges, some so sharp they sting. That's the emotional landscape of your person right now. Whether your story with them stretches back through years or only flickered for a brief but unforgettable moment, they're replaying it all, stuck in a season of nostalgia. And let's be honest, people don't replay what doesn't matter. Psychology teaches us that longing is often a signal of unfinished business, and for them, that unfinished chapter is you. In tarot, this energy shows up as the Five of Cups, the card of regret and sorrow. It's that classic human tendency to stare at spilled milk, or in this case, spilled wine, and forget there are still full cups waiting nearby. But here comes the Eight of Cups, nudging them to stop wallowing and finally walk away from the ghosts of their past. They're growing weary of their own excuses, tired of pretending they don't care, and slowly realizing that denial is exhausting work. From a Buddhist lens, regret is like carrying around a backpack full of rocks and then complaining your back hurts. At some point, you either put the stones down or get crushed under the weight. Your person is inching toward that wisdom. And when they finally set the burden down and look up, they don't just see you as a fleeting memory, they see you as the road ahead, a possibility that's both terrifying and beautiful. Ironically, the confession they never planned is the one the heart has been whispering all along: they cannot let go, because letting go has only shown them what they truly want. The Ace of Pentacles rises in this reading like a break of dawn after a long storm, and it tells us something important. This isn't a fleeting crush, nor is it some whimsical daydream. It's the desire to create something solid, something that can stand the test of time. For you, Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, this matters. You've always been the seeker, adventurous, restless, hungry for new horizons, but beneath that wanderlust is a craving for meaning. And here comes the twist: this person no longer sees you as a dazzling firework that burns bright and disappears. They see you as a steady flame, the kind you can gather around for warmth when the nights get cold. Now, let's be clear, Sagittarius isn't the type to sign a 30-year mortgage on love just because someone whispers "I miss you" at 2 a.m. You want proof, you want action, you want something you can trust. And remarkably, that's the shift happening here. This person is stepping into what we call Knight of Pentacles energy, patient, dependable, deliberate. They're no longer racing in with empty promises, they're showing signs of commitment that are quiet but unmistakable. There's an old line that says, love is not about possession, it's about appreciation. In their attempt to let you go, your person discovered that truth the hard way. And now, like a student humbled by life itself, they are learning in real time that love is not about clutching desperately, but about showing up, again and again, ready to build. For Sagittarius, that lesson might be the only key that truly opens the door. Let's slow down before we crown this story with happily ever after, because the truth is, your person is still human, beautifully flawed, a little messy, and very much a work in progress. The Strength card reveals the inner wrestling match they're caught in, battling fears, insecurities, and those stubborn old habits that keep pulling them back. If you felt their energy swing like a pendulum, warm one day, cold the next, you weren't imagining it. That's the tug-of-war inside their soul, a dance between wanting closeness and fearing it at the same time. From a psychological perspective, this is classic attachment behavior. People with old wounds often confuse love with survival strategies. One moment, they're clinging out of a desperate fear of being abandoned, the next, they're creating distance out of terror that true intimacy will expose them. If that sounds like the plot of half the modern dating scene, it's because it is. Relationships, as the therapists like to say, are where our unfinished childhood homework shows up. But there's hope here. The Hermit card tells us that silence and solitude haven't destroyed this bond, they've clarified it. Alone with their thoughts, your person has been forced to face what sages and poets have echoed across centuries: you cannot outrun love. Buddhism frames it this way: running from your own mind is like trying to escape your own shadow, it follows you everywhere. Your person is slowly realizing this truth. The battle they're fighting isn't really against you or the relationship, it's against themselves. And when they finally stop swinging the sword at shadows, they may discover what you've known all along: love isn't the enemy. Fear is. Here's where I have to laugh, Sagittarius, because if there's one thing you're famous for, it's not chasing. You are the Zodiac's archer. After all, you shoot your arrow of truth, say exactly what's on your mind, and then, before anyone has time to react, you're already off on your next adventure. You don't brood like a Shakespearean hero, pacing the balcony and writing tragic sonnets. No, you're the one booking a spontaneous flight, signing up for a philosophy lecture you barely understand, or discovering a new restaurant in the next city over. That's your style: direct, free, and unbothered. Now imagine the cosmic irony: the one who once thought they could let you go is now circling back like a moth to the flame. They're scrolling through your old photos, lurking on your social media, and yes, they absolutely noticed when you posted that sunrise with the caption "New Beginnings." They've probably analyzed it 5 different ways. Was it about them, about life, or just about your love of good lighting? That's why the Chaser card shows up in this reading. The lesson is simple but profound: what is real cannot be outrun. The universe has a way of flipping roles, and now it's their turn to chase the archer they once thought was optional. But let's peel back the humor and get serious for a moment. This isn't just nostalgia. The Addiction card, mirroring the Devil in tarot, reveals an intensity that borders on obsession. They aren't only missing your smile, they're magnetized by your very presence. And like fire, that energy can be destructive or constructive. Uncontained, fire burns down the house; contained, it warms the hearth. Right now, their desire for you burns hot, and the question is whether they'll learn to channel it into something that builds instead of consumes. And if you've been lying awake at 2 a.m., halfway through a slice of cold pizza, suddenly thinking of them out of nowhere, don't dismiss it. These connections are often telepathic. Sometimes the call isn't on the phone at all, it's humming quietly in the heart. And Sagittarius, whether you laugh at it, roll your eyes at it, or secretly feel it too, you can't deny, energy has its own way of reaching you, even when you're halfway across the world. The Phoenix card rises here, Sagittarius, and it couldn't be more fitting. In every culture, from ancient myths to modern psychology, the Phoenix represents the same truth: transformation is born out of fire. This person doesn't just want a reset button with you, they're yearning for a rebirth within themselves. They're beginning to understand that love isn't about erasing the past or pretending mistakes never happened, it's about integrating the lessons, like scar tissue that makes the heart stronger instead of weaker. In Buddhist terms, suffering becomes the teacher, and the ashes of old patterns become the soil for new growth. Here's where I add my own insight. In this year of triumph 2025, many of the chosen ones, those who've walked through heartbreak without losing their compassion, are finally attracting people who are waking up. Why? Because your vibration shifted. You no longer beg for scraps of affection, you no longer explain your worth to anyone who refuses to see it. You radiate self-respect now, and in that glow, people either step away or step up. And your person? They're doing their best to step up. They're realizing that if they don't rise, they'll lose the rare chance to stand beside someone who refuses to settle for anything less than truth. And so, we arrive at the Hierophant, a card of wisdom, tradition, and yes, long-term commitment. This isn't about flirtation, Sagittarius, this is about vision. Quietly, they're daydreaming about vows, shared spaces, and calling you their forever. For some, that sounds romantic, for others, maybe a little claustrophobic. Either way, it's sincere. They don't just want the magic of kissing you under the stars, they want the everyday reality: splitting rent, arguing over which side of the bed is theirs, sharing coffee in the morning, and yes, even your Netflix password. Because let's be real, commitment gets serious when someone knows exactly how many true crime documentaries you've binged and still loves you enough to hit next episode with you. That, Sagittarius, is what the long-term vision looks like: ordinary moments turned sacred through consistency and love. The High Priestess steps forward here, and if you've ever wondered why this connection feels so uncanny, she's your answer. This isn't just attraction, Sagittarius, it's spiritual. It's that soulmate vibration, possibly even the twin flame current that so many mystics write about but few truly understand. There's an invisible thread, a psychic tether that keeps pulling you two together in ways logic can't quite explain. Maybe you've had those moments, you think of them out of nowhere, and 5 minutes later, a message pings on your phone. That's not coincidence, that's the High Priestess at work, reminding you that there are forces beyond our 5 senses weaving this story. But let me temper this with wisdom. A spiritual bond doesn't give anyone a free pass to act recklessly or treat you poorly. Too often, people romanticize the pull of a soul connection and forget that healthy love requires both mystery and responsibility. Buddhism teaches us that love without wisdom becomes attachment, sticky, suffocating, often painful. On the flip side, wisdom without love turns cold, detached, and lonely. The path forward is the middle way: compassion balanced with discernment, heart softened by kindness yet protected by clarity. In other words, Sagittarius, you can honor the pull without sacrificing your standards. Now, what's next? This person is envisioning a future with you, stepping into the Emperor's energy: stable, committed, dependable. They're picturing more than kisses under the stars, they're picturing the grocery runs, the bills, the laundry, the morning coffee. It may sound romantic or it may sound terrifying, depending on your mood, but it's real. Still, here's where you must be sharp: don't just listen to their words, watch their actions. Are they consistent? Do they align with your values? Do they stand beside you not just when the fire burns bright, but also when the night grows cold? Because your love, Sagittarius, is too expansive for half-hearted efforts. You are not waiting for someone to complete you, you're already whole. What you deserve is someone who can walk beside you, arrow to arrow, laughter to laughter, truth to truth. And so we come to August 2025, a true turning point. The one who once thought they could let you slip away has circled back, heart in hand, realizing they were never free of you at all. They want another chance, a new beginning, an opportunity not just to love you, but to stay. And there you stand, bow in hand, intuition sharpened by experience, deciding whether to let them in or aim your arrow forward into new horizons. Remember this, Sagittarius, chosen ones are not chosen because life spares them from pain. They are chosen because they dare to transform pain into wisdom, and love into liberation. In this year of triumph 2025, your task is not just to receive love, it's to discern it. To choose with the clarity that comes from self-respect, and to embrace only what amplifies your fire instead of dimming it. And if destiny allows for humor, and I believe it does, then let me say this, if they come back with flowers, don't just accept roses. Tell them to bring snacks too. Because love may be grand and poetic, but a life together is made of the simple things, shared meals, inside jokes, and small daily choices that turn ordinary moments into sacred ones. So, Sagittarius, whether you accept this love or continue your journey solo, know this, the cosmos is cheering for you. You are the archer, the philosopher, the traveler of truth. Love, when it arrives, should never chain your wings, it should only give you more sky to fly across. That's the energy for you, my dear Sagittarius. If this resonated, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot. And drop a comment below. Do you feel this person circling back into your orbit, or are you already setting your sights on a brand new horizon? Either way, remember this simple truth, energy doesn't lie, and your intuition will always be your most reliable compass. So breathe deeply, laugh often, and enjoy this wild, beautiful ride of life. After all, Sagittarius, you were born to live expansively. Why not let love be part of that adventure?